Hey guys, and welcome to another tutorial about 3ds Max. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about basically how to break Max, just so you know how to not break Max, because there's a lot of things that you can easily mess up if you're new and you'll just learn how to do them. So, but before we get into that, my name is Matt. Welcome back. Basically, if there's anything at all, because I haven't seen any comments yet, if there's anything at all that you're just shy about talking, just leave a comment below and let me know if you want to see anything at all. We'll go learn the program together if we have to. Anyway, go ahead and like us on Facebook. Go ahead and click the subscribe button below. Keep up with us if you can on Twitter. Go ahead and check our friends on SiteGround. They're at $3.99 for a domain. Buy one get one free. And yeah, I'm excited to tell you about basically how to break this thing. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the things that I have always run into is, number one, like, let's say you're starting with a plane, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into this. So let's go ahead and say we're going to throw in a turbo smooth, right? Because we want to do what's called terraforming and making it terrain. This is the most basic way of doing it, but there's probably much better ways, different types of software. But anyway, let's go ahead and say we want it like this, right? And we were going to edit model. So go ahead and do this, but let me show you how that kind of works. You scroll down on the edit. Okay, so like I said, just drag out a plane, throw in a turbo smooth, and then from there on you'll go to editable poly, scroll down, paint deformation. Yeah, so push and pull. Now here's what you essentially do all the way around until you just got a nice base, which I'll go back and show you how to do it the right way. But anyway, so let's say we go and throw on turbo smooth, right? We're trying to get as many vertices as possible and as much definition. So then what I'm gonna do, and I hope this does not destroy the computer. I can keep this going. But anyway, just keep going up in iterations. Keep going up in iterations. It's starting to think. 10. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it broke. So anyway, this is what you don't do. Like this is the, yeah, it might go at 11. But this is with don't bump up iterations. So let me go and explain what iterations are. Nice. Well, let's see if it. Oh, okay, it's working. So it goes down. Okay, it doesn't go up to 10 or 11 because it knows you're being stupid. But anyway, so basically it turns every one of these squares into 4. So like, let's say I do this. Just turn it once. Now there are 4 ones every time you see it. That's what, or 4 polygons every time you saw one. So that's what iterations does, but turbo smooth just gonna smooth them out by adding iterations. So via smoothing groups and only applying that geometry. But anyway, let's show you how to do this the right way. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and say, let's actually bump that up to like that. It should be fine. Vertical poly. Okay. Push and pull because we were here, right? And then just kind of maybe make a nice little cavern out here, little walkway. Okay, and then we just kind of hold down what was it, alt, yeah, alt, and then make like a little lake over here. And then push up that. Okay. And then maybe like give that just a little bit. Anyway, so that's how you do that. That's how you make like terraforming and stuff like that. But pretty sure there's much better ways to do it. Anyway, so now that we got into that, let's go ahead and talk about another thing. So let me show you some of the problems I've run into. So anyway, start out with your box, right? Like let's say we go ahead and put a plane underneath it, okay? We want to make this the most dramatic thing. P. Okay, if you ever do that to yourself, like you ever press B for bottom or whatever, just press P and you can get back to where you were. So one of the things that I end up doing a lot is I'm going to select all these, put a standard material on it, press N to get up the materials box, standard. Okay. Now, one of the things I do is okay. So everything adds render time, right? Yes, I do that, whatever you want to do. So anyway, let's go ahead and say I do something like this. Okay. And now let's say I atmosphere effects, right? And then I add a volume light. Okay. See how it works. Okay. So we're gonna put our camera right back here. Right? So it's turned out fine. Okay. Now let's put more light on this thing. Let's say we're gonna enable a multipass depth of field mental ray of or mental ray / iray. Now we have depth of field. So the things in the back will be more fuzzy. See how we're already kind of losing stuff? Like, so we want to go and turn up the render, right? Right? So let's go and put that up to like medium precision, right? So that way we don't get those fuzzy edges. Now they're a little bit less fuzzy. Let's go ahead and bump that up to high. And then just so you can see again, though, I'm going to render out from here. Should appear super, but yeah, see, it's all gross. So anyway, we're going to bump that up to like high. Let's go ahead and put like high 2.0. Now we want our soft shadow precisions to be like 4. Okay, right? So it's starting to not be, it's still not that bad, right? So let's add like another 5 lights like this. So okay, so now it's still taking even more, a little bit more time to render. Now let's go ahead and apply a glass dome to this. So go in here, and then I promise you I have a point about this. So give me 1 sec. Go ahead and drag out a sphere. Like, let's go ahead and say in a sphere 180. 0.5, sorry. Yeah, so that should give us a dome, right? Yeah. So now what we'll do is we'll lift that up real quick. Turn that into a poly. Select all those, control all, or alt all the other ones. That way you only have the bottom selected. Delete those. Turn on a shell. Okay. Hold it up like that. Get some pretty thick glass in there. Put it right over there. And then go to architectural. Material. And then just apply that. So. Oop. You gotta user define glass clear, sorry. Now see how we're starting to get like, So essentially it has to calculate all of those gathering points and it has to go all the way back and get those again. See, it's starting to take longer. So there's a reason for that. The reason for that being is that, you know, like you're starting to have to calculate the way glass reflects. You're starting to have to calculate all that. So anyway, let's go ahead and bump that down to transparency Let's go and say that's not. Let's go and say it's like 95. Let's go and say the shininess is like 0.5. Or, oh, sorry, 50. 80. 80. That work? Kinda. Glass clear. Oh, it's shelled. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and just delete that shelled. No. Give me 1 second. We gotta go. What's this one? Transparency. Go that all the way up because it makes it transparent, so it should work. Let's see. What we could do is take a standard and actually no, something like that. Yeah, okay. I'll have to come back to that one. But anyway. But it just, the whole point of this is that it's starting to pick up other things. It's starting to actually it might be mirrored. Let's see about that. I'll do something like that. Oh no, it's not mirrored, it's just being weird. I guess I don't like photometric lights. That might be it actually. Okay, anyway, so I'm just gonna leave it there. So now, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start new and fresh. But the whole point of me talking about that last thing was, so let's say you have horrible render times, like all this stuff add into calculations and stuff, so things could get very, very detrimental very quickly. So another thing though that could very well break Max, not necessarily break it, just make it look awful. Is let's say we go ahead and go to Editable Poly, right? And we have connect, right? Now let's say you take these, take this, and then like that. We just start pressing this tessellate button a lot, which is right here. We go underneath subdivisions, tessellate. Okay. Now we have 5,000 of those. Now we click on NURBS and then we say okay, convert to Editable Poly. Now, the reason why I say this is bad is because number one, what is that? That will ruin your mesh. Number two, like all these things right here, they completely flat on mesh. Just say tighten it up, but you don't want to add too many vertices where you can't go back and fix them again. You can't go back and edit them and reshape them, and you want control. That's the whole thing. Don't add too many polygons beforehand. So that was another thing. Now let's talk about another thing. So let's say we have okay. Let's go ahead and say like that. Copy. Go up. Right. Pull over. Here. So like that, and then let's go ahead and say like about 20. Okay. And about 8. Okay. Now we're gonna go to something called you have to right click over here and you have to go to Massive X toolbar. Okay, it's been quite a while since I did this, so bear with me here. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this to set as dynamic, or yeah, dynamic rigid body. Okay. Now what we're gonna do with these is these are gonna be bricks. So I'm gonna go ahead and say start simulation. Yeah. So now they're all bricks, right? They're all exploding already. So here's another thing that could get super in-depth, or super just all over the place. So that's one thing. So let's go ahead and go back. Okay. Let's say I'm gonna go ahead and undo all that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and alt all those so I can get them back. Go ahead and pull those up. That. Okay. Now I'm gonna zoom in here so I can get a better look. That. Okay. Let's make 10 of those. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put them all to, oops, it's dynamic rigid body, and then where was my toolbar? Oh, here we go. And then go over here to Mass Fix Tools, click the little hammer wrench, simulate again so that you can see. Okay. Okay, another thing is my gravity is way too high. Like, it's just, this should be happening. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Okay. So another thing is, so baking. You see how it just kind of like froze up there? It's because you gotta think. So if you have like 5,000 things, it's not good. That can also add very much render time. So I'm gonna go unback. Go here. And then let's go ahead and turn the gravity down. I don't quite remember how to do that quite as much, like that part. So I'm gonna do it the way I know how. So I'm gonna go to systems, and then I'm gonna go, or forces me. We call this bacon, space bacon. So anyway, pull out a gravity. Okay, we're gonna say strength is like 0.5. Then we're just gonna gravity by force object. Pick gravity, that one. Okay. Now we can just edit here. So now we're going to simulate. Okay, so that one didn't even work. Keep doing it. And then let's go. Oh, I guess that one's sweet. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's another way you can break maxes, by trying to force it to do so. Yeah. Okay, that one just broke. I guess cool. New. So there, when you start messing with Mass Effect tools, and that one, I'm not gonna diss anybody, but I definitely think that one's probably one of the under developed tools. Like, it hasn't been ironed out probably. I mean, I'm sure right there anybody could be like, oh well, obviously you did this wrong, and then, but it shouldn't crash like that. Anyway, so I'm gonna get that away. So another thing that you could easily do. So here's a thing called UVs. So let's go and say I got poly, right? And then I want to go to my UVW editor. UVW. Okay. So one of the things I find, well, let's go and put a standard on this. Oh, okay. Well, here's another one. So whenever you get this pop-up error, it says dependent. So any kind of work you did before, if I were to press yes and I had work actual done, it would automatically delete that work. Like you'd have to start all the way over. So don't do that, okay? Go and say, just say no. So here's how we're gonna do this. So we're gonna go to materials, and then we're gonna go to standard, okay? And we're gonna go to bit map, and now, ooh, oh, that's scary. I have. Let's go ahead and go with like. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is what I guess I've used previously. So anyway, we're gonna go add that. Okay. Show it. So anyway, now we have the UVW map, right? No. Yeah. So delete that real quick. Now we're gonna go to box. Okay. And there you go. So that's working, right? So let me show you something. So you're gonna have things where you'll see. I'm gonna show you what it'll look like if it was broken. So what we did, if like let's say we did this, and then we did that. If you ever have something like this, whereas all the other ones are peachy keen, more than likely what has happened is your UVs just got messed up. Now that could happen in various different ways. You could be modeling something and it just didn't work out right, and it just didn't do what you wanted it to do, and like it really just kind of depends on like the situation. But if that does happen, you can always go into your UVW unwrap, and then you open your UVW editor. And I mean, it won't be perfect, but I mean, unless you like used a ruler or something, or some kind of tool that could get it perfect, like that. But you could get it pretty close, and you can get it like fakeable within the eye. So just put that over there like that, and then look back to normal. Okay. So, UVWs are very easy to mess up, especially like, I don't know why this is like that. I mean I do know why, but I could go ahead and fix it. But like things just kind of blend and mesh awkwardly, I guess. So you just gotta be really careful with that. So the next thing that I want to get into while we're into materials is, okay, let's say you have sphere 1, okay, then there's sphere 2, there's sphere 3, sphere 4, sphere 5. Okay, I'm gonna, there's a reason for this. So let's go ahead and say I'm gonna put on these two, I want to put a standard, okay, or sorry, architectural, okay, and let's go ahead and put a glow on them. Okay, views. Let's make it red. Well, let's make it light blue. Okay, you want them really shiny, so like that. Okay, so now they're glowing. See how it's like got those influences over there? So let's go ahead and set that brightness up just a bit more. Just a bit. Okay? So now let's go ahead and say, like, I'm gonna go put a box out here. Just put a shell on it. Okay. Now on this box, I'm gonna go ahead and put mirror. I'm not saying you would ever do this, but if you ever find yourself putting yeah, so let's say you ever find yourself putting mirrors and stuff all over the place. Now let's do something even crazier. So let's say like these two, or these three, for example. Let's go ahead and say I want like We'll put a ceramic on them for like no apparent reason at all. Just put that on there. So now we have ceramic. See how it's really starting to take up time? This is still in low image precision, right? So the thing about this is you're restricting what's called bounces, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But bounces, you're bouncing light and stuff off of different things that can easily destroy the render time of the program, because that's to calculate, okay, where would this point go, where would this point go, where would this point go. So anyway, what we're going to do is, and it basically goes square by square, and that way you can do that. Or that way you can, it'll render out only the mathematics for that point in time. So the next thing we're going to do is I want to explain what that is. So let's go ahead and say I put a normal omni-light in here. Okay. And then I go ahead and put here. Okay. Now I want the intensity. I mean, ray trace shadows, cool. Shadow parameters, cool. Now let's put photons in here. Let's just go ahead and do that. Or, well, I already have that, but I'd already have that if I do this way. So let's just put this all the way up. So now it's really reflecting light. But now let's go ahead and bump up the cluster reflections all the way up, the shadow precision all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, and then now we wait. So see how it's really starting to take some time now because you're just trying to get the most accurate image possible. Light, okay, it all has to do with right here. Let me show you this. This is what it's calculating. Those max reflections and max refractions and all that kind of stuff. So if I bump that up to like 100, okay, never do this. But now, like, the amount of bounces you're going to be calculating is just going to be off the wall. So, like 0.7. It's like the final gathering points was pretty slow. But like now look at it. So anyway, start new and fresh. Let's see that. Yeah. So anyway. Okay, now I'm gonna teach you a few tricks because I think they're cool. So let's go ahead and add a plane. And let's go ahead and add a sphere. Let's go to ink and paint, okay? Let's add ink and paint to this, okay? Now, let's go ahead and add standard. Now let's go and do ink and paint as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a gradient to this, okay? Or, sorry, gradient ramp. Okay. Add this to the paint map, okay? So we have this thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say, I might actually use a gradient instead. Yeah, let's go and do that. So gradient, that's better. The reason why is because we want okay, output. We want this. So go ahead and drag this to the paint. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and enable color map, and then down on the output. So now we're going to go ahead and add point, make I think make 3 points in the middle. Okay, so now what we're going to do is drag this one down to where we're just going to make this 0. Okay, now we're going to make this 0.5. Okay, just drag that one all the way there, like that, and then 0.5. Oh, we gotta add one more. Okay, I'll make that 1. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply it to this. So here we go. And then this one, what we want to do actually is, so let's just go and see how it looks right now. Oh, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do, it's been a while since I've done it, so give me one second. So what we're going to do from now is we're going to do, so we did gradient, okay? And let's go ahead and say this is like red, okay? And then red. Okay. So now, if we, the whole point is if we put a light, like right here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so we got somewhat of what we're getting at. Hold on. Okay, and we're back. So, I figured out what I was kind of doing a little incorrectly. So anyway, if we add this, now we have the shadow to light. So, as you can kind of see, there's, give me one second. Okay. There's kind of, if we pull this over here, right? We pull this up like that. Okay, so we have this thin line of like white or the gray, and then there's just straight black. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, I'm gonna go ahead and say, oh, the multipliers are like 11. So now let's go ahead and do this 1. Now see we have like this gray area. So now the problem is though, what if this has certain amount of depth? So if I go up to ink detail, or paint levels, like let's put that like 5, okay? You can kind of see that there's a little like gradients, like okay, we respect that there's like an even like thinner layer of that. So like let's go and put that up to like 21. Yeah. Kind of got rid of it, but anyway, the more paint levels you get, the more detail you get. So you did see it with the like the 5. So, but anyway, so now we're gonna go into, okay. So here's how I would say you would do like comic book-ish, cartoony slash, dare I say, anime-ish styles. That's kind of how you would do that. You would essentially do the ink and paint. Now, the thing about ink and paint is I would turn off the smoothing groups if I were you. I would turn off the overlap, okay? And then, yeah, just work with that. Because the reason why I say that is because, let's say you did overlap and all that kind of stuff. It does help in some situations, but some stuff I just usually don't ever. Because it just like, it really, I wish I had a model to show you what that with. But anyway, it just kind of mess you up. But if you ever wanted to do that kind of style, that would be the way you would do it, is you would just add, okay, so what I did was I used a gradient ramp, and instead of this one, the reason why is because I couldn't find it on here. I guess they might have gotten rid of it. I couldn't seem to find it on this one, so I just went to gradient ramp, and what I did was, you might be actually, okay, yeah, just do the color output down here. You could do the same thing that I did down there, but you just turn this to lighting, the gradient set to lighting, and then you just put it all right here. So anyway, then you just kind of like add your colors. So like, let's say for example, I wanted this one to be, edit properties, let's say I want this to be red, okay. And then this one be, or this one to be red. Okay. So now like all the light would be there. Okay. So you can see how you can get some like really stylized up lighting and such. But anyway, that's another cool trick to show you. Now I have a few more up my sleeve that I'd be willing to show you. So let's go ahead and get to those. One of the things that I like to do, I'm gonna go and start new just so I have that. Yes, no, don't save. Plane, okay, so I have a plane, right? Okay. Now let's just go ahead and say I want the most cinematic pyramid in the entire world, right? Okay, so like, okay. Now I want the most cinematic, just 5,000 layers of just really smoothness, and just all those lines right there, just connect them. I like that, okay, and then like all those and just connect them, okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just say connect. You probably don't have to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Just connect all those. So after you've connected all those, we will get going, but I still wanna do this real quick. Okay, so here's one thing I have not learned in Maya yet that I just wish I could find. So I select all these, right? Now I want to say inset, right? But I want to go to by polygon, okay? That. And then just go ahead and take out the top. Like you don't want that one. So let's go ahead and take out the top piece. So inset all those, right? Let's go ahead and put it down even less because it's being. Okay. And then you go to like by poly or I want to say by, yeah, like just like that, okay? So you just scale down. So anyway, then we go ahead and let's go and scale up just a little bit, like something like that. So then we do like something like that, okay? So now I got this thing. Pyramid thing. That. It's got things all over it. So now we want to like, okay, so here's a cool cinematic effect that you can do with anything. Just add water, okay, gradient, or like go down here to liquid and like clear lake and just apply that, okay. So way too much stupid light in this thing. I don't think. Okay, so here's another tool. So go to tools and then go to light lister. That way you can see all your lights. So there's literally no lights in here, it's just being done. So let's see Omni Bam. And then turn on the attenuation to like, or intensity down to like that. I don't know why there's so much light. Oh, well, let's go ahead and generic reflecting pull. Maybe that'll stop freaking out. And then standard, go and apply that to that, so. I think this just has way too much influence. But anyway, so. I'm gonna go ahead and put that up like way high in the sky. Here. I'm gonna go ahead and try to put swim pool in it, see if that fixes it a little bit. There we go. Swimming pool worked. So we're gonna go in swimming pool. So now, okay. So you have your light, right? And this one's, I'm gonna go and say the first one's pretty much for, you're always gonna be just kind of illuminating it, okay? Now, here's a really cool thing that you can do. So take this, right? And we wanna go to like target spot, something like that. We'll move it out. Take this one, put it right there. Okay. Now move it to like the side. Doesn't really be too awful, specific, fancy. But anyway, like that. Okay, render it out. So you got a spotlight. Yeah, it's got a generic boring spotlight. So to intensity, bring that up like 1. There. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to go to atmosphere and effects, add, and then volume light. Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Trying to kill the render. Too much. Way too much. So let's add decay and then inverse and then start like. Let's go ahead and say right to like the top right here. This room. Okay. Let's go and use the near far attenuation too, so like 0 to let's see, where's the end on this thing? So let's like say like right there. And then let's go and say 156, okay. Because that's where the end is on the other one. Okay. Still way too much. So I might just need to turn that down to like 0.5 or something like that. It's early like 0.4. Now let's go to this like 0.01. Let's go ahead and add like a slight yellow hue to it. Like that. But you can see how you kind of get like that cinematic lighting type thing. Now we need it more like, let's go ahead and bump that decay back like that. Like it starts decaying way for, okay, here we go. So something like that. Now the swimming pool, let's go ahead and say this is like, now let's try generating. No, it's still. Okay, fine. So like, let's try stream, river, nope. And the reason why is just because, wait. Now we might be able to do generic reflecting pool. There we go. So now we can like mess with that. The whole point is I want to get some of the water. So now what we want to do is the wave height. So right here. So let's go ahead and say it's like 5. Let's just say the waves are insane. You can kind of adjust this. I mean, I'm just showing you how to do this. But cinematic stuff like this, like that'll really add to your scene. Of just, you know, adding water and some volume lights. add like a really dramatic hue, like really quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much that's one of the things. Now another thing that I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and let's go and actually give this like something. Let's go and give this like a metal. Okay. Oop. Architectural and then metal. It's gonna take us a little bit more time to render. Okay, so I didn't put metal on it. 1 second. Metal polished. There we go. So now it actually like have properties that kind of attune to it. So maybe bump down that shininess down to like 30, and you should be good to go. Something like that. A little less. 15. I mean, it won't always be these numbers like 30, just so you gotta mess with it and you gotta tune to it. But see, you want some of the grays to be sticking out, so. But anyway. So those are some cool effects that you can do. The last thing I would say is, okay, the last thing I would say is a cool effect, because we're gonna do one more and then we're gonna go and wrap it up. But, so let's go ahead and do a new. Oh, okay, yes. So I know some of you are in animation. I don't know too crazy much about animation, but like, I don't know as much about animation as I do about mine, so I should say. So let's go ahead and say this gear that we're gonna make is like 8, right? So like something like this. Convert to. Boom. Okay, let's give it like all these teeth. Shoot them out. Okay. Take this side, inset, delete, take that, merge it. Okay, so let's go ahead and say we want to animate this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do what's called the select and link, we just chain, right? So now if I do this, if I do this. Okay, so yeah, see how it like kind of moves and chains like that? So now what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and we need to just apply that to the rotation. So what I would do is I would go to what's called the wiring parameters. So that's what. So those will just move, but we would go to right. Okay. So I want to say wiring parameters. Transform the rotation. Oh, well, you gotta figure out what that is. So what's this one? Okay, I'm moving the Z. So now I go to, and you can tell by down here, those numbers move. Anyway, transform the rotation Z. Okay. Now this one So every time, okay. This Z, because now it comes out with this box, right? So now what we're gonna do is this Z to, I guess what's this called? Cylinder 2, so object cylinder 2 transform rotation this Z. Okay. Okay. So this one will control this one. So okay. So we're gonna click this one. So because that moves this way, so right, we're gonna connect. Now we're gonna do negative, right? Because, or well, I'll just show you why. So like, let's say we do this, right? But they're hitting each other, right? So that's not good because we've linked their Z rotations. Now the last thing we want to do is make them hit each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that to negative, update, and then now voila. Okay. So that was another cool trick that I kind of learned. You could do that with like steering wheels and wheels. You can do that with gears. You can do that with all kinds of different stuff. But the whole point is you're trying to just make like rotations act in a specific way. You wouldn't go to the select and link, you would go to the modifier. Now, let me show you what a select and link is kind of good for. So you got your chugga chugga choo train, right? And you got like a longer chugga chugga choo train, okay? And you just, you like animate, or you select and link and then just, okay, well this is the nose. It's like, yeah, we like go along, right, the thing. And then like, let's say you get down here, you'll just kind of like rotate this guy and then be like, okay, we're still kind of going. I mean, and then you can move this like also independently, so now we're just going like that. Now, be careful because as you just saw, I rotated and automatically disfigured, so just gotta be careful of that. So, but if you do select and link, but again, wireframers is a lot better. It's more in depth of the select and link tool. And by doing that, you right click, same thing, edit edit poly, but you go to wiring parameters instead. So, anyway, guys, that pretty much concludes this tutorial. I just want to give you some tips and tricks. Crashing mechs. Next one, I've actually been thinking about. I will probably go ahead and say that one will be like a full-blown tutorial on like, let's go and get started on a cool project. Let's go and go actually model something that's like intense, and go fully into depth rather than just kind of go over basic shapes, because I think it's time for a tutorial. So, got a full-blown tutorial about how to create maybe like a character or something. We'll go into that. But anyway, so it's been fun, guys. If you, like I said, if you want to leave me any comments below, tell me what you're all about, what you want to know.